Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Parental Abandonment on Discord.
This is Parker. Go by One Who Parks on Discord.
We are back with all the riveting intel.
Yeah, together again. We got it.
Yep.
Original
it's weird
duo.
How we were unable to podcast together for so long, entirely based on your ability to not be committed to podcasting.
I don't know if you can tell.
I've missed zero. I'm pointing at missed zero.
Yeah, I'm. You might notice my room now has a carpet. It is now a carpeted space. There's no furniture
I preferred it when it still had all the stuff in it and wet carpet. That's what I preferred. Can you put it back the way it
was? No, that was not a fun time. That was not a fun time in my life. I'm not going back to that time in my life. I am. My house has finally come back together. Although I made a terrible mistake. I put all the stuff for this room in the back of everything, and so now every single other room in my house has to basically be almost completely unpacked in order for me to get this room back online. But I managed to dig out the computer and the setup, and we can do things. But yeah, we're the Gidries are online again. I can now activate all the parts of my house are now accessible. I can now walk through them and use them and stuff. It's been good.
Well, in positive news, our anime corner will no longer be limited to 5 minutes due to errant eye rolls. But so we can continue talking about anime only once.
Oh boy!
For somebody who really appreciates like procedural dramas, you would think he would like anime more than he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing. It is a stone's throw. It is so close. You could spit on anime from your average, Monster of the Week type show. And he likes all those.
He also doesn't like live TV for the visual aesthetic. He listens to these shows. He doesn't really watch them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the animation can't be the problem because he barely watches it. He just listens to it while he does other things. Yeah. So, you just give anime a try here.
I'm just thick with hypocrisy is what he is. Thick with it.
So, I have been feeling sad that I haven't been keeping up with One Punch Man. I don't know if you know where this is going.
No, tell me.
Okay.
Tell me.
So One Punch Man Season 3 is, like, coming out. It's, like, episode 7 or 8 is already out. So, like, the season's most of the way over. It is officially the worst-rated show ever on IMDb.
Oh, no.
And it's not because I think the storyline is bad. It's because the animation is abysmal, apparently. I haven't seen it.
Oh.
This is... People have been telling me. But it's, like... It's partially getting review bombed because it's like a protest thing. Mm-hmm. But I guess they changed animators, which I believe they did the first and second season were different animators as well.
Okay.
But the new company is the same company that does One Piece. And they've been doing... There's just like constant segments of the show that are just like... They just colored in the manga. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a still shot of like a guy off screen talking to somebody else. And the camera is focused on the guy listening, and it's just 30 seconds of still frame. And it's like, bro, like, come on.
No.
Like, you gotta do more than this. And then there's, like, a lot of scenes where they clearly just, like, traced things and slightly moved them.
Yeah. Because
there's a couple frames where they fucked up, and they didn't, like, move the whole piece. Like, one scene, they, like, cut off Atomic Samurai at the top of his head, because when they cropped it and moved it, it didn't move.
Oh, no.
And there's just a lot of stuff like that. One guy I was watching like a reel of somebody like, yeah, I'm watching One Punch Man Season 3. Everyone says the anime's bad. It can't be that bad. He turns it on and it's just 30 seconds of a viewpoint of an alleyway looking up at like a fire escape. But the camera doesn't move for 30 seconds. It's just still frame at a alleyway.
No.
And then there's like, nothing is happening. Like, am I listening to somebody? It's just they wanted to fill time with non-animated content.
I asked Google AI, what do people say is the problem with One Punch Man? And Google AI said, bulleted list. It looks like a clip art movie. Next bullet, PowerPoint presentation. Next bullet, no actual animation. Like,
I don't see how there's not going to be a lawsuit because, like, clearly the company paid them to animate it, like a lot of money, I would assume. Because they're still a big studio. It's not like they did some random dude in his basement.
Right.
Like, there's people doing homemade fan art of One Punch Man that's animated. and it's noticeably better than what this like large like AAA brand put out, and it's astounding. I don't know how there's not going to be a lawsuit. Like so, like they're gonna have to, and there's already like there's a group of people going around that are YouTube animators saying that they're gonna get together and reanimate the show and release it free on YouTube. And it's like, brah, like how bad do you have to fuck up?
Wow, look, the internet is on fire with it. I just decided to scroll down and find out more. Jeez, I don't know.
They're not happy.
Wow,
is what I've heard.
I have missed this. I've missed this memo.
I missed it too. Connor told me when I asked. I was like, man, I wish, because my plan was I'm going to rewatch the whole show. And I guess they took season 2 off of Netflix or something. I don't know. I went to try and watch it. It wasn't easily watchable, is all I remember. I wasn't paying too much attention. And so I was like, oh, I'll just find it somewhere and I'll watch it. But then I was talking to Connor about it. He's like, oh no, don't bother. I was like, oh.
It is true. The internet often
this season is supposed to have one of the greatest like animated fights ever in the history of like manga. Like people have been waiting for this for 15 years to have this season animated because it's supposed to be fucking off the rails. And it's just like, nah, like fuck it.
Oh man, the internet constantly gives me, usually in clips and reels and stuff like that, like really strong anime fights because eventually, they get clipped and put on. And you are correct. It's been out since October, and I have not seen a single One Punch Man thing. And that's odd because I've been watching clips of One Punch Man season 1 fights for 8 years or some nonsense. Because every time they come back up, I watch them again because they're that fun to watch. Oh man, ugh, that makes me so sad. That anime is one of my favorite. My students asked me the other day, like, favorite animes, and I started listing some off, and One Punch Man was up there. They go, really? I go, yeah. But maybe this is why they went really, because this was literally like a week ago they asked.
The original season launched in the USA on October 5th, 2015.
Yeah, so that was like 8 years ago.
And it's only 20-something episodes, I want to say. Like the whole show, isn't it like 30 episodes?
So far, yeah, I don't think it's that many.
I'm actually curious now. It might be longer than I'm thinking. Episode list? Yeah, first season's 12 episodes. Second season also 12 episodes. Yeah. You're talking about like they've only put out 30 episodes ever of this show, and it's been out for 10 years.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, One Piece just like weekly. Did you know that this year, after the current arc is over, they're going to move to like season based?
Really? Really?
One Piece has not been season based.
Ever.
It's been a weekly show since the 90s.
That's amazing.
It's absurd.
Why? Is it because of the?
It's the production quality. Like they just had to take a break to keep up. Like they can't. The animation on One Piece used to be absolute dog shit. It was like baby level cartoon, and they've multiple times stepped up the animation quality, and now it's to the point where it's like it's not quite like up there with the best animes, but it's in like the second category. It's like it is a good animated show now, and it's just like ridiculous for them to try and keep up with. Which is what I'm sure some people have mentioned. Like maybe that's why One Punch Man got pushed aside because they can't keep up the weekly One Piece episodes and also animate another full-time show.
Or 10 episodes.
Or 12 episodes, yeah.
Oh, man. That makes me so sad. I have to watch it, but I guess I'll just have to cringe the whole time.
I guess that makes me wonder if that's why One Piece is such terrible pacing, because Toei can't fucking animate like a streamlined show. I never thought about that before. One Piece animator. Pretty sure it's Toei. Yeah, TOEI animation.
Well, all I know, the only thing I'm waiting on, like with a timer on my phone, is Frieren Season 2. I'm really excited for Frieren Season 2.
Dude, January is going to be a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it's January 16th. What else is in January?
You don't know? Okay, so first...
Wait, is it
Book 18?
Oh, that's right. Oh,
also,
I have such big news. We're going to finish anime, but I have Dresden news. Go.
Season 3 of JJK is going to be out in
I thought that was...
I believe Solo Leveling's also back for Season 3. It's going to be a crazy month.
That is going to be an awesome month for content.
All right, so what's up with Dresden?
I finally did it. I'm rereading all of Dresden. Okay. I'm finally doing it. The other day I was like, man, I kind of got saturated with podcasts, like also like sports content. Like I've been so saturated with podcasts, and then I started kind of switching to sports content. And you and I have talked about how much terrible sports content. And basically, I can listen to 2 hours of First Things First once a week, and then I can't listen to anything else. Everything else is so terrible. But and even then, First Things First, they're like 2 hour, like it's not really a podcast. It's like a podcast format of their show. Is a lot of repeated, so even then I'm barely listening to it because a lot of it is the same thing
they have segment. Two. There's a condensed one where they just take the first version of everything, and then there's one where it's the whole show.
Yeah.
And so if you want it, it's like an hour-long condensed version, or it's like a 3-hour full show.
Okay, I have not been doing the condensed version. I just clicked on the first one I saw. At any rate, I was doing some of that, but I was like, man, I just want something that I can put, because it's all this house remodel, right? I am spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just unbox this, box this, move that, up there, up down there, like clean the same surface of dust for four.
You're like a sorting machine. It's just move this thing here to unstack other thing, and move that thing somewhere else, and you just do that over and over.
Yeah. And so I was like, I want something that I can listen to while all this is going on, that's going to like bring me peace, because this feels like forever. And so I started to re-listen to Dresden, and I'm just going to say it, because the first time you told me to listen to Dresden, you had to convince me for like, I think 3 years to start it.
It was a long time.
And as soon as I started, I was like, Brandon, you were right. And then since I finished it, or rather caught up, you kept telling me over and over again, you'll love it if you reread it. You'll love it so much if you reread it. And I never really had occasion to. Now that I had one, I started to do it. You were so right.
There's so many things you either forgot or missed.
It's so much better on the second read, and I could not believe that, because it's already not even close to my favorite book series of all time. It is so far and away. The second place is so far behind it. But then,
I'm glad you got to that point, because there was a while where I was like, oh, so clearly Dresden's your favorite. Now you're like, no, this other book is probably still number one. I'm like, fuck you. Like, it's like, and then we got there, so I'm glad we're past that.
Yes, and listening to it again, it is so good. I believe everyone who's wrong. Everyone is wrong who says the first book is too slow. It's not. It's fantastic.
It is a different style of book. So it's like if you show up for solo leveling and you get Frieren, you're not gonna get what you wanted, but it might be good still.
Right. Good analogy. Yes. If you were expecting an action, it's not an action. It's a detective noir, not exactly fantasy, and it doesn't really ramp up into the fantasy until book 3. I think book 1 is a really, really great book. Book 2 is, in my opinion, weaker than book 1, actually. And I can see why some people struggle to get to book 3 for that reason. I feel like it dips actually a little bit, because I'm now in book 5. I just started chapter 1 of book 5. And book 3 is such an amazing book, and I was so sad that I forgot so much of it. I was so sad, because as I was re-listening to it, I was like, the only thing I remember from this one, the only thing I remember from Grave Peril was the introduction of Michael, of course, because he's such an amazing character, keystone character, and the scene where Dresden loses control at the party
in the garden.
The garden. Yeah, and that was the two moments I remember like really definitively from that book. But there are so many incredibly important moments in that book that are so awesome in context now, like the context that I have for the whole story.
The context really led credence to like all of those early events. Because he clearly had a plan for where the world was going, and I love that you can read it front to back several times, and it's very rare you can find something that feels like a dead end. Almost everything weaves back in at some point.
Also, when you finally get to meet the White Council in book 4, there are so many, because the White Council was one of those groups that everything kind of blurred together, for the exception of Dresden's allies on the White Council, right? Which you're clearly supposed to like connect to. There's a lot of things about the White Council that kind of blurs together, but it was so much more interesting on the second read now that I have, again, like the context for what this was. Because before you're just kind of like learning all this stuff as fast as you can, but now that you have context for it, when you're like, there are a few key things that multiple different characters say throughout that book, of the White Council characters specifically, that are are such powerful foreshadowing for like 5-6 books
Yeah,
away.
it's just so far
Like,
down the road you forget
yeah,
about it.
yeah. Um, uh, the gatekeepers is such an incredibly like key thing, and like everything you find out about him, which is so sparse. You maybe
Yeah.
get to read him for a page, maybe 2 when he shows back
Dude,
up.
I bet he
But it
has
becomes
the
such a
fewest
big deal.
speaking lines in the entire fucking book.
He does, but
So
he's
many.
such a key figure, right? He features
Yeah.
so prominently. He's so important, and um, and I love how in the White Council scene where Harry's not really on trial, but he has to defend himself in the Red Court, way he handled that situation. I love how everybody's talking, and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance, and then you go down the line, and this person talks, and this person talks. You get to kind of meet everybody on the senior council, and then they go, gatekeeper, and then like the whole fucking room like changes in its gravity. He never wonderful job of showing without telling. He doesn't say how everyone cares about the gatekeeper, right? He doesn't say it. He just shows you it. By the gatekeepers, the only thing the gatekeeper says whenever they're asking him to, hand down a death sentence to this man or not, he goes, "It rained frogs today." Everybody goes, right? Everything comes to an ass grinding halt, literally, because he knows so much, right? And he's set up. Everything is falling into place for him, and also knowing so much about who he is, where you find out like book 13 or some shit. Like I don't remember when you actually get to find out what he does.
14, I believe.
Yeah, a good guess for my part. I had no idea, but like when you in that moment when he's in that room, clearly has such like the point of him and the knowledge that he holds is so like it's so awesome in that moment, and then to see it come through true later. I guess what I'm saying is I was ready to be like a lot of rereads that I've ever done, placated by the experience, right? Like in the moment, not remembering every
It's just
single
nostalgia, right? The only thing holding it up.
Right,
Like,
right, and that
it's just gonna be hollow with a little bit of nostalgia mixed in, but
right.
it's almost like reading it for fresh the second time.
It is. I was so blown away when I reread comics like constantly, and I love that, like you said, revisiting that. But it's revisiting something I'm very aware and familiar with. This feels like I'm peeling back just another layer of something that was already rich. I just see there's another. There's another something.
You just see deeper into the roots every time you do it again. That's why I think I felt that way through like my 6th reading of the novels. Like I think every time I went through it, because I usually would take like a 5-6 months break to make sure that it was still like it was a little distant when I went back to it, and I still think there was still new stuff. I was like, oh, and it's like because it's not stuff that's like isn't connected yet, but you start seeing where these where the pathways are leading, and you see that there's like multiple like turns in that path that you didn't notice the first time. Like it's easy to just say it's like this person is the betrayer, but then you go back and read and you're like, oh, there's like 6 different points where you could call these hints or like foreshadowing that I never picked up on because they were really subtle, or they weren't even intended, but because if you know something in your head when you create a scene, it's gonna be tainted by your understanding of what's going to happen.
Right.
Like your knowledge of the future is going to taint the present when you're writing something like that. Because you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to write this guy in an ominous way because of this thing. Or like, I'm going to draw extra attention to the thing that is meant to be some foreshadowing. Or just so like the smoking gun. It's like, I have to draw extra attention to this so they'll understand it's important. But by doing so, you kind of tip the hand into the future.
I just got done with book 4, which was initially my favorite book. Like until of course we got later. Until later. But I love all the fairy stuff, and so I was really excited to get back into book 4. But talking about like foreshadowing, laying the groundwork for I don't know who's listening to this and who's excited to explore it, so I won't go into great detail. But the groundwork for the great antagonists, the overarching things, everything is still very much in shadow. But I love knowing what I know now. Re-listening to this, it made the antagonist of this book's plight so sad. And I remember reading the first time through, going like, just a crazy
Who
fairy, right?
cares? Yeah.
Yeah, just like
It's like, get the fuck out of here.
yeah,
You got what
it's
you deserve.
yeah, it's a bad guy. You lose, right? You fought Harry Dresden, you lost. But reading it now, like her last moments in book 4, you're just like, wow, that's so fucking sad. Like knowing what I know, that's such a sad outcome.
And
And
that book specifically, because it's a very political book.
yeah,
Book 4 is, and then knowing that, because there's more political stuff to follow, and knowing that you didn't understand the ramifications of all the shit that was going on at the time,
yeah,
it seemed bad, but for different reasons.
right,
And now later on, it's equally as impactful, but for reasons you didn't understand yet.
yeah.
And so now that you start understanding why alliances are the way they are
Mhm.
throughout, the world.
Also, I'll just say this: I'm really excited to start book 5 because I can't remember the name of the guys who have the coins. I can't remember
Denarians.
the Denarians. The Denarians are the biggest black spot in my memory. Like I don't remember a lot about them other than the bad guy, the like leader guy. I remember a lot about him because you get to see him so much, and I know that one of them loses a coin, and then I'm not going to spoil it for people, but I know that that is such a black hole for me. I know the outcome, like in the later books, but I don't remember anything about book 5.
Yeah.
Like I have this really clear image in my mind of like Dresden running from like a SWAT team hit, like a supernatural SWAT team kind of situation. Like I remember something like that and being like, that scene was fucking cool. That's what I remember. Kind of like the scene from book 3. Like I remember him lighting everything on fire, but I don't remember anything about the context of it in the story.
Yeah.
And so now that I know so much more about those characters, but again, they're my biggest black hole. I'm really excited to start book 5 because I think of the 3 books I've read so far, book 5 is actually the one I remember the least about because I don't know what about it is about the Denarians.
You probably
I
just
don't
chugged
remember.
through it because it was so fun, and
Yeah.
so you just burned through it really fast.
Yeah, that's another bit. I think I'm doing about a book a week, and they're sticking in my memory a lot clearer than I did before because I felt like before I was going much slower even. Or rather, sometimes I burned through a book and then it would be like
you
I would
were
do a
going
book,
pretty slow. It would take
yeah.
you weeks to do a book
right?
because we would talk about it.
Right, and now I'm busting through them a lot faster, which is allowing me to keep them
Fresh,
keep them
yeah.
next to each other in my mind. But
So
anyway.
I also think that book 1 is not a bad book. It's just a noir detective novel with magic,
Yeah.
as opposed to anything else, which is fine. It's just not what the series is, right? So it's misleading for some people, and if you're a fan of the style that Dresden becomes, it is very much not that first book. But the book itself is not bad, like you said. I like book 2 more than book 1 because it's closer to that new style that I prefer, although book 1 still has a lot of interesting points in it. I would say book 1 Dresden is a lot more like other urban fantasy books. It's much more, investigative based. It's a little bit slower, and I would just say it's less rich. I think book 2 is strictly better than book 1 solely for the police station scene. Like that whole chapter is so much better than anything you get in book 1.
I would
but
agree
outside
with you.
of it, I think there's stronger storytelling in book 1 outside of that.
Yeah, I will agree to you. I will agree with you that scene. Yeah, that scene is really cool. I guess I just don't. The thing I don't like about book 2 is that book 2 has so many players. Like there's so many players.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like this.
You get lost in the weeds.
It's almost like an episode of Scooby-Doo. At the end, they could have told me anybody would have done it, and I would have believed you because there were so many things going on simultaneously. If at the end, zoinks, it was Farmer Ted, I would have been like, yeah, I guess so. Like you just gave me so much evidence to chew through, and so as a whodunit or an unraveling of mystery, I felt like that was weaker. It was much better action movie, like you said. Like it was much better, like ramping up. Every situation got more and more dangerous. Harry was constantly under life-threatening threat from enemies at all sides. I do love the idea of there's so many different kinds of werewolf, and each one presents its own kind of problem for Harry, and he has to solve it like one at a time. I thought that was a really cool motif, but again, it did not. I didn't like that as much. Not to say it was wrong. It was or bad. I rated an A minus, not a B.
Sure.
But
I think as far as like the whodunit mystery novel section, I think he was still working out where he wanted to put the challenge rating of it.
yeah,
Because in book one, it's pretty obvious, right? Like
right,
it's almost painfully obvious.
yeah,
And in the book, he covers it up. Like the polish he puts on it is like, okay, look, I understand that like you people listening to this probably know,
yeah,
like have figured this out. I haven't slept in 3 days and I'm very tired. Like,
yeah,
please give me a break. Like,
yeah.
he's like talking, he's breaking the fourth wall to explain this. The reason it's so obvious to you is because I have a concussion. Like,
Yeah.
give me a break.
Yeah.
And then in book two, it's just, you're so lost in the weeds. Like, I this, like you said, it could have been the Marshmallow Man. I don't know who the fuck's doing this.
Yeah.
And then I think in book three, it's like less about the mystery and more about, dealing with the problems of the situation.
I really love book 3 for the intense personal
Mm.
stakes for all the characters. Like like one of the opening moments when he goes to the other cop's house, like
Yeah.
that's the exorcism in his house. That was so high stake, right? You just felt like they set it up from moment one that this the stuff we're dealing with right now is an order of magnitude more dangerous, right? um, and the whole book feels like that, right? Um, that's why I know why I think a lot of people feel like that's the rest of Dresden is because every book from this one on feels like that. Like there's always an order of magnitude more interaction with the universe and the world, and I don't need I don't need every book to be like you. I've already told you this many times. I don't need every story to be the end of the world. Book 4 introduces that concept of like end of the world, which I don't need that to be the case.
Yeah.
But and book 5 I know is not the end of the world. It's more about Dresden's personal problem. But
I think there's a strong argument that book five is about the end of the world. But
again, I don't remember Black Spot. I might forget that there is a possibility for that.
little a.
Yeah, little
Not big A. It's like if the person writing the story is deciding if they want to capitalize the word apocalypse, we could just go ahead and push it over the edge. Like, but
I'm so excited.
so I think
I'm so
book
excited to
three-
read more. Go ahead.
Yeah, Grave Peril. If you are hesitant to get into Dresden Files because you don't want to get several books in to decide if you like something, I think it's possible just start on book 3. He does a good enough job with like immediate exposition to give you all the information that you
Yeah.
need to know in a short period of time without giving you the full backstory, so you're not just listening to monologues left and right.
Mhm.
But he's also like, hey, this is this person. I know them from here. How's it going? Like, it gets you in, like, on and running. And I believe that's a selling point of a lot of paperbacks is they want anyone to be able to pick up any book and at least understand what's going on.
That was actually the one criticism I have of it is since I'm consuming them at such a fast rate this time, I am much more aware of how many times he explains names, how many times he explains circles of power, and I get it. Like you said, it's a convention of the books, right? Not because he thinks every reader is dumb, but
Right.
But you are correct. In fact, they introduce Michael, one of the best and most beloved characters, without any preamble at the very first moment of book 3. And so, again, there's.
I think he actually has the first line in the book.
Yeah, something. I think he does. Like it is. Book 3 really could be the start of the story proper, and like you said, he makes sure that everything has context. You could absolutely start book 3. I probably should have asked my wife to start there. She did the first book and was less excited. She also is not big into noir, but she thought the modern fantasy sounded cool. But honestly, she could have started on 3 and been much more excited.
So I think book 1 is just a noir fantasy book, and then book 2 is a kind of like a supernatural mystery book. Like it's closer to Dresden than book 1 is, but it's still kind of its own thing. And then book 3 is the first like true Dresden Files book. Like if you like book 3, it's just going up from here. Like you're gonna love the rest of the series. It's the only one. It's the first one that has the archetype of the book with the same like intrigue level mystery all mixed in together. And then I think book 5 is the first great book in the series.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to start book 5. There's only which one? No, I'm not going to spoil it because I was going to ask for my favorite key moment. You know, my favorite key moment of the whole one is at the Field Museum. I can't remember what book is that. 6?
7.
Is that 7? Okay.
That's your other favorite book.
Yeah.
Is 7.
Yeah.
I'm curious how much you'll like it this time around.
Yeah.
I know you'll enjoy it, but I'm curious if it's gonna because I think you still say it's your favorite book in the whole series.
I do, but again, I'm
but it was like
highlights.
5 years separated from
Yeah.
reading it to reading book 17, so I'm curious.
Right.
I still think I don't know that you can top 17's so good.
The other one that I know that I loved very much was the last. I can't remember which one it was.
Have you ever just
the last one with Mav? The last Mab.
She's in a lot of stuff.
I know she's in like all of them, but I can't remember. It's the one where there's.
You mean the last Favor book?
That sounds right. Yes. Yeah.
Small Favor.
Is that it?
Yes. That's the second Favor book. It's also a Denarian book. That's book 10. Is the one where they go to the island?
Yes.
Yes, that's book 10.
Okay. That's probably.
But Mab goes to the island a lot, so.
Yeah. I'll have to look. It might be 10. I don't remember. Also, the reason why I remember that word is she said. I don't know if he meant to foreshadow this, but Mab says in book 4 a small favor or something like that. Oh no, Dresden says just a small favor, and she goes, maybe so. And she's like, I remember hearing that and going, that's the name of a book later.
I think. All of them have the titular line, don't they? I guess Skin Game. I don't think Skin Game is in Skin Game.
I don't remember hearing any titular lines. That was the first one I remember, but again, it's something that happens later.
Yeah.
It's full moon, right? I think full moon is said actually.
Full moon, yeah.
Oh, full moon. Oh no, yeah. I don't think he says full. Yeah, he doesn't say full moon ever.
I think. Yeah, I mean, they don't come out and say it, but I think in that book, Bob says something along the lines of...
that's possible.
That, but anyway, doesn't really matter. I love Dresden Files. I hope everyone reads it and enjoys it, but it's so good. Okay, so in the novels section, I have started rereading Critical Failures.
Oh, really?
I'm on book 7. I'm almost done with book 7. And I just reread Reckoners as well. That's one of the good sides of the Chiefs not being very good this year is I cannot stand listening to overreactions, especially when the Chiefs lose. I get actually upset for several days, and so it takes me a while to get back into my norm. And so the last thing I want to hear is people, doomsaying and all this crap, because the internet personalities have a huge ability to overreact to stuff. So that's part of it. And then the other part of it is just hearing it's basically rubbing it in a little bit. So I just tend to not want to listen to sports talk nearly as much.
Word.
So I've just been putting all that energy into audiobooks because it's rare that I'm by myself and not listening to something. I'm almost always listening to music or audiobooks or podcasts or something. And so I do a lot of 3D printing or model editing. I do writing for D&D and stuff. So I've always got something on. And so I finished the Reckoner series, all 4 books in that. It is also very good. I recommend it. Connor's wrong. It's the best Sanderson series, clearly.
I don't know what else I know he's very prolific, but I don't know what else.
Yeah, the sheer volume of books he puts out is crazy.
Yeah.
How many books has George R.R. Martin written as a solo author?
Oh, shit.
Is it just the one series, or does he have other stuff too?
I don't know enough about him.
I can't imagine with his level of work ethic.
I was going to say I don't worship him at all, so I don't know anything.
Well, I think a lot of people, it's as soon as they got past a certain book number, they're like, "Oh, I see what's happening." It's I'm past the mystique. It's just good now. It's kind of like M. Night Shyamalan, right? He was the first to do a thing, and then he overdid it, and it was oh, okay.
I don't know if we call him the first. I think I'll give him some. I will actually go to bat for him in this respect, which is I think the thing he started was a really cool concept. I think it was a good idea, and I think he executed it well. And I think it kind of was basically too big for its britches, right? It just got too big.
I think it's a lot like what's his name? Fuck. George Lucas, like, he's really good at
Yeah.
inventing a really interesting world,
Uh-huh.
and maybe not the best at writing stories within it.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I know I've heard things like Stormlight Archive and Mistborn. I've
Yeah.
heard of those, but I haven't.
Reckoners is like his 9th favorite book series, like popularity wise, but I just like to give counter shit. It's just every time it's like the Malifaux of book series to me. Like, they just do one thing too far and they lose my interest.
What
When
does?
it's like, Malifaux is like, hey, we have this new miniatures game. Do you want to play it? I'm like, I don't know. What's it about? He's like, check it out. We got this guy raising zombies. I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. He's like, and they're samurais. I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty awesome. He's like, and they're hookers. I'm like, what? Like, why did you do that? Like, go back. He's like, there is no going back. Also, they wear umbrella hats. I'm like, fuck off, dude. Like, he's like, why did you ruin it? Like, you fucking had it. You ruined it. And so that's what Sanderson books are to me. It's like, all right, so there's these people, right? It's like, sure. And he's like, they have these magical powers. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and they're like elemental based. I'm like, that's sounding pretty cool. It's like, and then like they get special powers based on like what kind of materials around them. I was like, uh-huh. And it's like, and then they eat lead. I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, well, then they whisper to the wind. I'm like, get out of here. Like, stop talking. Like, it's just, it just breaks my like believability factor. And then I just can't hear anything other than how stupid it sounds.
Yeah. It becomes like a hat on a hat, right?
It's a hat on a hat.
What are you doing?
Except it's like a hooker mask on top of a hat. I'm like, bro.
It is so... Your description of Malifaux is so perfect. I tried to play that game too, and I was like, it was like, he's an elemental. You're like, cool. What is he? What elements he made of? Ice. I go, cool. Also a goblin. All right. Also an elf. Wait, what? It was 100% elf, goblin, ice elemental, and I was like, what? What? This is. You're like, is he French? Is that what this is? Also, like, is he very French? Also, yep, very French. Also, by the way, Brandon Sanderson has written 473 works.
So many.
473.
How many books has Martin written? I know that Sanderson set the record for most. I think it was most books available through Amazon and most books sold on Amazon, which obviously is a little bit of the same.
Including collaborations, 67.
No, just solo. That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Because that's the thing. When Game of Thrones was super high, every fucking book had him as like. But all he does is like he just like has somebody write it and then he approves it.
The internet's really struggling to tell me. This is weird. Let me try this. It's not that hard.
This says approximately 18 as a solo author.
Yeah,
so let me just replace Martin with Sanderson. Oh, that can't be right. This is saying Sanderson's only written 30, which is, I think, wrong. But also, I think it's hugely inflated by the same issue that we were talking about with George, is that he has basically like teams of writers that will like get the book like close, and then he'll just basically go through and edit it. And then you'll like knock it out.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this one guy's saying he's like, I have 80 books from Brandon Sanderson on his bookshelf, like let alone other ones. Anyway, so Critical Failures series is a popular favorite of I think mine and Parker's and a few other people. It is a very acquired taste, though, I will say that. So I would not automatically recommend people go get it. Its best example is its South Park Isekai for D&D.
Yeah.
It is a bunch of redneck people from like Mobile, Alabama that play D&D on the side, get hoodwinked into getting sucked into a D&D world. But they're still they're normal people, but they become their characters. It's a typical trope. But the funny part is like how ridiculously stupid and offensive they are, because they're just a bunch of fucking idiots. They're not like heroes in any way, shape, or form. They're actually like basically villains. Like if anything, they're obviously villains.
Yeah, one of the characters is absolutely a villain. Like one of the main characters.
One of the characters is objectively a villain, yes.
Yeah.
And so it starts off with like the typical, we go do this D&D town and like the guard gives me grief. He's like, oh, fuck it, I kill the guard. And so like while they're still playing a paper game of D&D, one of their characters kills a guard. and then, hijinks ensue. Then they get pulled into the game. So now they're wanted for murder. But now they're their actual characters. So they go to jail. They're in jail now. And if they die, they die. And so now they have to deal with all these repercussions of the stupid decisions they've been making while trying to play hobo murder. And they're also a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yep.
And so it's hilarious. It is very offensive. They use very crass and crude humor, but I think it's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I don't know how they translated that it's absolutely like a South Park episode. It's just a really long,
like
stupid South Park
if I
episode.
were to read it, I can't imagine I would think it was funny. But listening to the audio performance, oh my god, it's so funny.
That is true. Yes, I'm sure that it is much better as an audiobook. Maybe
you remember?
I kind of want to, but
Do you remember the it's not a skit, it's a real recording of a courtroom where the guy just starts screaming obscenities at the judge.
Oh yeah,
and the judge is like,
court.
"You stop that!"
Yeah, it's kangaroo.
I will
court.
hold you in contempt. He's like, it just keeps calling him a dickhead or whatever.
Yeah, it's because he said his counsel.
The Rick and Morty
to,
guys dubbed it and they animated it.
Yeah,
so it's like that where it's like
like he says, "I'm going to do counsel. I need to do lawyer because he's trying to butt fuck me or something." He kept saying stuff like that. Yeah.
So you can't say that in the courtroom.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It's basically that where like it's not funny if you just read it. Like if you read the transcript, you're like you're shocked and confused, but when you hear somebody doing it, you can't help but laugh.
Yeah,
it's that.
It absolutely is.
Oh man. And some of the lines, like I remember one time I was driving home from the Geekery, and it's I get off at like 1 a.m. sometimes, so it's super late. Nobody's on the road. I'm driving south I-35. I'm almost 151st Street, so this is a long dark area of the highway, and the line gets said in the book, and it was in book 6, the very end of book 6, and the line gets said in the book that I knew was coming. I knew it was coming. Like they're gonna say this at some point, and it's gonna be so funny. And they said it, and I fucking started crying, laughing while driving a car on the highway. And I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't even sit up. Like my head was in my lap, and I'm crying, laughing. But I know this road, so I just like slowly drift to the rumble strip and slowing down and just get off the highway. And I'm just crying, laughing for like 10 minutes in my car.
Every scene, because my favorite part of the book is that some of the characters absolutely understand Dungeons & Dragons, and a large set of characters also from our world don't understand Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah. And that is when I think the true comedy really starts.
Yeah.
When it's about these people. And whenever they meet a drow for the first time, that is just
I was going to say, when they meet the drow and he like kind of joins their group.
Oh
and it's just every time they're like, so this guy, and it's like, nobody wants to say that he's a drow because they think drow is the N-word. They don't want to say it. So like, well, you can kind of see what he is.
I can't,
like,
is her name Catherine? Because she can't.
Catherine is the sister,
Yeah, every time somebody talks badly about him, it's because he's black, isn't it? It's
like, no, they hate him because he's an evil drow that kills people, but she thinks it's because he's black, and
she doesn't understand.
Everywhere they go, she's like, "You can't be mean to him. He says rights." And he's like, "No, it's very expected that they're gonna hate me." He's like, "You shouldn't have to live like this. Like, we need to get people to stand up for you." He's like, "No, I definitely poisoned her child. She should hate me."
She wants to start a civil rights movement for drow.
Yeah, because they like don't really understand alignment. And so like, it's like, no, that's an evil character. Like he's going to kill people. And so there's actually times in the game where somebody's alignment will change and they'll like become evil, and they won't realize why they're doing all these horrible things all of a sudden.
Why they're
and they're like, God damn it, this guy fucking became a were-rat and became evil, and now he's like fucking everybody over, and they just realized, like, it took them an entire book to realize, oh my god, he's evil now. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
He has no conscience anymore because he's a were-rat.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, don't listen around children.
Yeah, oh no. Yeah, NSFW. Super NSFW.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we did books. Oh yeah, I watched all of Castlevania.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I just finished it today, actually. The Nocturne. I finished the other one like last week.
What'd you think of Nocturne?
I was not impressed at the beginning. It ended up being fine. Mm-hmm. I liked the ending. Mm-hmm. It was an interesting take on like jumping ahead in the timeline. I liked that part of it, but I did not care for the characters at the beginning. I thought they were really boring and uninteresting.
Yeah.
Which it was kind of true of the first show too. Like when you first meet Trevor, he's not interesting. Like he's just a boring drunk. And then but it pretty quick. I'd say within the first episode or two, you kind of he starts growing on you. You understand the bonuses of him, but really you're just watching to see the Dracula stuff, and then as things pick up, obviously it carries itself.
Right.
Cypher, I think the whole time was interesting. Like from the moment you meet her, she's one of the more compelling characters in the show, I think.
Right.
So in the new ones, I could not give a fuck about any of them. I did not give a shit. It was not until God, was it when Alucard shows up?
Yeah, that's the end of season 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 90% of the first season. I don't give a single fuck. And then the girl's mom was okay, but I really didn't want this the girl, the Maria girl, or is it just Marie?
Maria sounds right. Yeah.
Marie. She just reminded me of the girl from Wednesday, and I was just she's just rainbow everything. I'm like, fuck off. I don't care. She was much better in the second season.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it Ricard? I can't tell how they were. I didn't have subtitles on, so I couldn't really tell how they spelled this fucking weird ass name. But the main character,
yeah,
he was okay once he quit being a little bitch. I ended up liking the girl that did metal magic. She was pretty cool, but again, at first she was just whatever.
Yeah.
I
don't think
the whole show though is just look how stupid this one guy is. This one really stupid person that is so contradictory to logic that how did this happen?
Yeah, I don't. It definitely had. It tried to introduce kind of an ensemble cast like the first Castlevania did, but unlike the first Castlevania, most of the ensemble was, like you said, forgettable. I don't know why I gave so much shits about every B and C story in the first Castlevania series.
Yeah.
Even if it's on a second watch, I was like, wow, I really care about what happens to Lenore, right? I really care about what happens to Isaac. These are characters that, who were introduced as just random general guy, but they did a great job building them.
Just like Eternals, it was an issue of earning it. And they felt like they just gave you these characters and expected you to care and didn't really do anything to make you care. And it's where in Castlevania, the only character that doesn't earn it is, I think, Cypher. Because Alucard has enough clearly issues that he's working through that it's kind of intriguing on its own, and he's obviously fucking vampire, so there's part of intrigue there. Yeah. Trevor is basically just Tony Stark in the show, and so he has character development throughout the show that's interesting. But in the new show, it's just here's 5 characters all at once with no build up, and just care about them, and they just kind of step back, and you're like, no.
Also, introducing a character with their tragic backstory is, to me, one of the weakest ways to do it. I think it's just very transparent, and that's
comes off as whiny.
Yeah. I care so much more about the Mayan vampire that kills his mom than him, because there's that character looks interesting. I want to know how there is a Mayan vampire. That sounds cool. I want to know what that is.
Yeah, he definitely was interesting in the second season.
Yeah.
And you obviously come to have empathy with him a lot, but again, it just felt really unearned.
I think they squandered the empathy that you got.
I think they did too. They didn't show you enough. They showed you that he was clearly not a monster. And then he did all this stuff for reasons, even if they were bad reasons, but he did it. But and then he kind of earns his way back. But the characters that are offended don't see him earn it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ricard and his grandfather don't ever see him do anything but one thing that's a good act. In the entirety history of the planet, he does one good thing, and they just forgive the fact that he slaughtered their whole families. What? Pretty sure he would have gone fucking medieval on his ass.
Richter. Yeah, Richter. That's
Richter. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to look it up because that's not. It sounds right.
The dude killed his mom in front of him while he was a child, mocked him for it, and then said, "I'll come find you and kill you later." And then his entire life, he's fucking traumatized by this shit.
Yeah.
And then the old guy, he's he killed my wife and my daughter, and then left. It's and I hunted him until I realized that I couldn't hunt anymore, and then I retired. It's cool. So you've been holding this for 30 years.
Yeah, and they kind of tried to do what they did again, making every character a little bit interesting. Drolta, they made a whole episode where you get to see her whole backstory, and the whole time I'm like, why do I need to see this? Why do I need to know about this character? I guess but Drolta was made such a bigger character than the fucking goddess that she served, right? Like it was a
Yeah.
weird. There are a couple interesting choices like
So
that.
that didn't really surprise me because I guess the way they presented it, I kind of expected something like what happened to occur because of the way they presented it, which is what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Like they presented it as more of a partnership than because like all the reverence was on her side, but it didn't seem, how do I say this? Not coerced, but like usually when you see those like, demigod level, in their head megalomaniac people, they're demanding this fealty from people. And their situation seemed way more of a friendship than anything else. And so she definitely seemed like more of a peer than anyone else. And so it didn't surprise me when the whole plot line went down with that.
I guess I've decided that the first one I'm going to hold up and just kind of remember that one. And Nocturne was going to go, okay, yeah, it was an anime I watched once, or an animated show I watched once, and I feel like it was about the same level as the Dragon. They did a game about a video game too. It was another Korean animated one about a dragon fighter, and now I can't remember the damn name of it. That's how much of an impression. And again, it's kind of like Nocturne. A couple of the moments were really cool choices for set pieces. A couple of the characters were really interesting. A couple of the choices they made in the story and the world were not uninteresting, but for the most part, highly forgettable. Somehow didn't make the impact. But anyway.
So I think the first season of Nocturne is pretty weak. I think the second season is actually pretty strong. Like when I was watching the first season, I was active. It was like, man, I really would rather just watch something else, but I'm gonna finish this because I want to finish it soon so we can talk about it. And so I was like forcing myself to watch the episodes, which made them go by really slow. And then in the second season, I was engaged. Like I was wanting to know what happened next. And so I think they either fixed something or I eventually just started caring. One of the two. But I think they fixed it.
Okay. But
also Alucard was there, so that's easier. Like.
Yeah. As soon as he showed up, I was like, oh, you done fucked up.
Yeah. It's okay, so I have a few questions about the Castlevania universe as a whole that maybe you'll know more than me, because I've never played any of the games for even a single second.
I know of it.
Nothing.
I know very little. It's just...
Who makes all the magic stuff? Because you'd think they just keep making badass magic gear, instead of not. Like... This one whip has survived millennia, basically, and it's just leather and some sacred stuff. Like, they don't explain it at all. The Morning Star, I assume that was just lost in the final battle, but the Morning Star is kind of cool. Then they have all these, rings and, Alucard's sword, he's got these daggers. There's magic gear everywhere in the show, but they never talk about, who makes it. Anyway, I was just curious, because, it just seems like this lost art to make magical equipment that nobody talks about anymore. And it's just but the whole setting is really interesting, but it's kind of like 40K, which is this dark age of technology and dark age of everything, where they don't have the ability to produce things like they used to. But as far as I can tell, the world has been moving on at a normal rate, and they're still wizards, but they don't make stuff. It's just odd.
Yeah, I do not understand the timeline of it. But yes, as far as I understand it, your description of all this stuff was made once, and then people forgot how they made it, and now they're just artifacts. Kind of like you said, there was a time of magic, and magic was all over the place. There's also a time of science, and the creatures that held on to that more than any others were vampires, and specifically Dracula, because he was a man of science. He considered himself a scientist.
So maybe there was just this golden age from way back when that only Dracula and a few other people kept on to.
Yeah. But there were also actual, we learned in Nocturne, there's an introduction of actual gods. There were absolute divine beings that were divine and had power that was separate, somehow a little bit separate from regular magic, right? They also introduced this concept, and again, in Nocturne, I don't know if this is something that everybody knows about in the Castlevania thing, but the whole concept of other dimensions, right? Because she draws, Maria draws her power from some sort of magical place.
Well, they've talked about the multiverse in the first show because they have the infinite corridor.
Right. They do mention that. Yes, that is correct. And the infinite corridor is a big part of it.
And then multiple times they clearly have that's Earth, and then it cuts away. It's there's the Sphinx, and then it cuts away. And it's two other things real quick. Who the fuck makes all the secret doorways and shit? Because nobody knows how to build anything, but the grandfather in Nocturne like has a secret like hidey hole for his ring. Like who built that?
Yeah.
Like who engraved your family crest in this stone and built a secret compartment into a mausoleum
Don't
just
ask.
on a whim?
Yeah.
Like and it's like and then they're walking through the city in France and the mother clicks a stone and this full like secret staircase appears in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how long that would take to build something? What's powering this? They don't
Yeah.
have electricity. Like, what? It's just springs? Like, what is going on? And so it's just, there's so many fantastical things that make, like, no sense. I'm just like, who built this? This was clearly built in, like, the last 10 years. Like you can't tell me that, like, this road has been here for 1,000 years and no one knew there was a secret doorway underneath it.
Yeah.
And then the final thing was, has nobody ever tried to turn a vampire into a dark creature, like ever before? Because it seems pretty strong. You should probably do that.
Yeah, that was a little obvious. Also, the other thing that I had kind of like what you were saying with the architecture and some of the like the pragmatic side. I was constantly going because I know a fair amount about the French Revolution, and I was thinking about like what the socio-political ramifications of the French Revolution were pretty incredible. It seems like no human in the French Revolution was considering the fact that there are absolutely fucking vampires. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like,
right.
It seems...
In a world where vampires are common knowledge. Like,
yes.
Everyone knows what a vampire is in the show. Nobody's
right.
like, what's a vamp? No one ever says that. Like,
right.
You yell vampire, they immediately turn and run.
Also,
no one is...
The people in that town they lived in were absolutely pro-vampire, right? Mm-hmm. And members of that town were being kidnapped and eaten while they were also somehow gaining political authority over the town. Like, there were so many questions that I had. You were talking about, like... I think
they at least tried in those areas, I think.
But that's the thing is they decided to try to explain it and say, like, eventually...
Right.
You know,
when the Aztec guy shows up, though, she's like, we don't kill people out in the street like this. We keep to, like, specific groups that we kill. So, like, they kind of mentioned that. But also, I can understand, like, an oppressed people, and then, you know, the supernatural monsters show up, and like, we're on your side. We're going to kill the aristocracy. And you're like, yeah, let's do that. And it's like, I can understand easily getting people behind you when they're, like, desperate.
Sure, but...
It was very loosely written, like that they didn't explain any of that very well.
And I guess the thing in the original, I was so ready to believe that everybody's life was so terrible. It kind of reminds me of your D&D world, right? Everybody's life is so terrible that vampires and
flaming Dracula head appears in the sky and says he's going to slaughter all humans. You're like, all right, guys, we should probably band together a little bit.
Like, yeah, this checks out. Like, this is normal. Like, all of us are fucked because we have, you know, we don't have the ability to defend ourselves against these creatures. But this, in the, you know, part of the French Revolution was the Age of Reason, right? This is the thing I love about the Dresden Files. Is he says this in book 1. The Age of Reason is the reason why mythological creatures don't take center stage anymore, right? Like, as soon as humans started figuring things out scientifically, the Industrial Revolution equipped them so heavily with the ability to fucking just to nuke the mythological world if they wanted to, right? Like, they could just completely overwhelm it. And so that's the part of me that, you know, knowing what I know about, like, the action. I love when science fiction or fantasy asks the question, yeah, but what if this actually happened? Like, how would people actually respond? And
like, they had cannons, they had black powder, like,
right,
and like, they used it to devastating effect on the vampires.
Right. And so you're just like, this seems like it seems silly that any, like, not even a human government, a human group of people during the Age of Reason would see mythological creatures and go, fuck it, kill this dead. This is too dangerous, right? This is too much of an other. Like, it would so rally everybody together towards... I'm sorry. I'm going down a rabbit hole. But
I know. Here, I'll just play devil's advocate real quick.
Sure.
In that justification, they are currently being oppressed by the most dangerous thing in the world. Like, humans in power. And so if the regular people are being oppressed by them, the strongest thing they can turn to is the supernatural stuff.
Well, during the French Revolution, which is what this is saying, the aristocracy had already been deposed. Like, the people in power were the revolutionaries who had a wide popular support for years, right?
Okay.
So,
I
so
thought
that
it was in like the midst of it. It wasn't like after it had
no, they
happened.
already killed the king.
Okay.
Like, they already said that.
Oh, okay.
They said in the show, like, the king is dead, the queen is dead. Like, the revolutionaries were the one in control. There was a weird time during this time of the French Revolution in which there wasn't a clear central control, because you kill the king, a lot of the peasants go like, then who are we following, right? And that was like the birth of nationalism and all this stuff too. So, but it seems like an odd time to to then go, oh, vampires will help us. But maybe I could see if they had spent some time saying, this is more comfortable for us. Like, we would, as people, we would much rather have an aristocracy than this. Because they do mention the church, because the French Revolution was about the Age of Reason, that the church was not reasonable to a lot of people. And so they did have anti-church riots and I think violence during the French Revolution against the church. So the fact that the main church guy in the show is scared and angry about the revolution and he's anti-revolution, that all checks out. So they did things like that in the show. Sorry, so they did acknowledge it, but that part didn't make a lot of sense. But I'm now quibbling really hard about it. But
yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go and jump into Mojo World, where I can continue my domination streak.
Mm-hmm. We finally got the best year for movies.
It's actually, I think it's better than I thought it was.
Really?
Okay. I'm actually pretty surprised how good it was. Yeah, for real.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish I'd been here for some of the later years when I was old enough to watch movies. The fact that this is my year, and therefore
that's the fun thing
to
too, is like, because it's like a window in when you do your birth year movies. It's a window into the world you were born into, but obviously as effectively a non-sentient human, you weren't really part of it yet.
Yeah.
So it's like a time window back to the time when you were born. Mm-hmm. So this week we're doing movies from 1985. I think there's a good short list, and I think there's more than enough for both of us to do lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my Word doc here, but it somehow got onto like double space, and so it's very annoying. I just don't want to mess with it right now. All right, Parker, you are going to be first.
Ooh, okay.
Don't mess it up.
It is Madmax Beyond Thunderdome.
Okay, that's a good first pick.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're going to choose my anchor pick, so we're going to go for just swinging at the fences.
Okay.
Back to the Future.
Okay. I had a feeling you were going to go there. You've been there before, and so I was like, I actually wanted
it's a good place to be.
I wanted you to have it, actually, because I know you are a fan. I have seen it. I'm not a huge fan, so I'm happy that you have it.
Not a fan of Back to the Future.
I'm not a big fan.
Get the torches, guys.
I'm not a big. I get that a lot of people. It's like it's a classic for them. It's really important. I thought it was fun. It didn't get me.
Then we're going to go with the perfect example of why communism fails, Rocky IV.
Okay. I'm glad you got that one too. I am not a huge Rocky fan, and
I'm not either, but Rocky, how can you deny Rocky IV? He punches communism in the face, Parker.
Directly in the face.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's your go. All
right. I am going to go with one I didn't discover until an adult, and I love it, is Clue.
Oh, I didn't think I fucking put you on that movie, goddammit.
I love that
Taking
movie so
my
much.
shit. I didn't think there was any way you were going to take Clue.
My wife also loves Clue, so that's how I saw it, was with her.
My one line sell pitch for Clue is there is a movie with both Tim Curry and Christopher Lloyd. Go watch it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. If you can't enjoy a movie like that, you sure have no taste. I don't know what to tell you.
That movie is the precursor. There are a couple of movies like this, like from the 80s and early 90s, that were precursors to like the way comedy is done now, and it kind of skipped 20 years, and now people are pulling it back out. I feel like Clue walked so Arrested Development could run. Like, it's the same kind where it's like it's a joke a second. It's a joke a second with an ensemble
Ghostbusters
cast.
is similar.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
It's
joke.
a lot of 80s movies. The jokes are they have like physical comedy involved, but it's not the really selling point. The selling point is just funny dialogue, and that's
Yes.
not really a thing anymore because
Right.
it's ingrained with like the body language and everything too, which
Right.
is it's just a different style, like you're saying.
Yeah. And my last pick is I'm going to go from one that I don't know if it's aged well because I haven't seen it in a long time, but as a child, it was one of my favorites. And since this is my birth year, I'm going to go with Goonies.
Good. I thought you were gonna go with Goonies. You took my fucking clue, you piece of shit. Okay. Well, I already have an action movie. Although it's not really an action movie. Is Rocky IV an action movie? Sports movie.
Sports movie. I don't know. Action.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if watching someone get punched in the face 807 times in 30 minutes is not or not an action movie, but oof. I'll go with Breakfast Club. Hope you're happy for ruining my list. I had Clue queued up because I thought for sure Rocky IV or Back to the Future would be above that on your wish list.
No, the only other ones I had was Fletch and European Vacation. I wouldn't have taken two Chevy Chase movies, but good year for Chevy Chase movies.
All right, so for me, I also had Rambo 2. Commando, which by the way is just like the ultimate random act. It was taken before there was taken.
Wait, Commando was 1985?
Pretty sure.
Oh, I did not know.
I did this from pure memory, so you might want to check me. But
oh shit, it was. Oh,
I'll give you Commando for clue.
Alyssa Milano was his daughter.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I did not know that. It blows me away. No, I'm not taking that trade. But yeah, that's still a great.
And then finally, Weird Science.
Weird Science. Yeah.
Which is such an 80s movie that you could fucking never make again. Like
a movie that the one I was going to choose instead of the Goonies because it feels like it's the same vibe, even though it's very dark. Is another Curry Legend. Legend was on my list also.
I haven't seen that.
It's one of those like. Did you watch The Neverending Story, or did you know that kind of film? It was very much that feel, but it's good. Tom Cruise when he was a young boy, and Tim Curry
young boy,
and Tim Curry plays completely unrecognizably the devil or some version of him with some of the coolest early makeup.
Cool. Are you ready to start building your Lizard Man army?
No. I have been looking at it. Honestly, the other Warhammer fantasy game that just got updated is one I've been looking at too, because I have Blood Bowl already. Yeah, Blood Bowl.
So because of that, I've had a surge of Etsy orders.
Oh, really?
I had 16 orders in like 5 days.
Shit. From locals or everybody?
No, all online people. Oh. And then also like the normal local people. All I can tell you is trolls must be the fucking tits because I sold 8 individual troll models in the last 4 days.
Damn.
Yeah, they're going like crazy. I don't know why because I haven't looked at the rules, but I know that they've done.
GW.
I don't believe so. But the issue, I think it's due to because they changed the way rosters work now. I don't know if you've heard. The old teams are like basically nuked, and there's fresh teams now.
Yeah, so, I've actually downloaded an app to start
looking at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's basically whatever came in your old box is now your only takeable models. So I'm assuming that there's a lot of orc players out there that now can't afford a troll because they lost 2 blockers and 2 blitzers out of their team.
Yeah. A lot of people's
maybe
big
goblins just got a lot better.
I was gonna say a lot of people's big guys are not in their box, but you can still take one. And I think you're correct. Right. A lot of the positionals are gone. And so people are looking at the big guys again, which I think is cool. I like the idea of a lot of teams having, 2 positionals, lineman and big guy. I like that.
As Colin has pointed out, I don't like many things, but I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I think that we have 30 years of playtesting to show how balanced the teams are, and to just do a wide sweeping change that, by the way, still doesn't work. Because the orc box, you still have to buy 3 box sets to play orcs. It helped you almost not at all. Because you still don't get any goblins, and you still don't get the troll. And so I lost 4 positionals so that I can still buy 3 boxes to play my team? Why?
I'm a little confused. Why do you need... Oh, other people's boxes is what you're saying. Other
No, I
teams'
still have to buy a
boxes.
troll, which is a separate box, like you just pointed out.
Yeah.
But like the whole reason they changed it is so that you would only have to buy 1 box to have your whole team. It's like the fucking one of the core like teams that's been in the core set for 4 editions. It's like, nah, just still not following that rule. Like whatever. Uh, and last I checked, you still have to buy. It's like $280 worth of models just to play Chaos Dwarves. It's like fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't help anybody. You just fucking shook up the table, which Aaron loves. Like he loves that it's new because he's played thousands of games of Blood Bowl and he wants something fresh. And so I can understand it from that perspective. But part of the reason I love Blood Bowl is because it was like kind of a known quantity.
I guess there's just for someone like me who had the box of, like you said, there are teams clearly that didn't get served by this, right? There's 2 kinds of players, and
there's also a bunch of teams that don't get nerfed by this.
Right.
And so, again, it's not a balance change, right? They didn't make this change to make the game more balanced. They made this change to make a change.
Yeah.
Right? Because the vast majority of players already have their stuff. And the only reason this was a problem in the first place, because the company was greedy and didn't put all the models you need in the box intentionally. There's no reason the Orc box doesn't come with all 8 positionals, other than we wanted to try and force you to buy 2 boxes. So the company created a problem in which they solved in a poor way. That's the way I look at this. Now, is it an objectively bad thing that the game has had like a shakeup? Probably not. Like, that's not the end of the world. I just dislike it.
And also, at the end of the day, I have to play Blood Bowl, which I've said many, many times on this podcast. Yeah. I really struggle with. Or I used to struggle with, but I haven't tried it in years. The problem with Blood Bowl to me is that most people play Blood Bowls in leagues. That's just the way I've seen most people play it around, unless there's a tournament. And I think tournament Blood Bowl would be much more appealing to me than league, because I have always struggled to play in leagues of any kind ever since I tried frickin' Mech Warrior back in HeroClix Mech Warrior days a long time ago. I struggled then too. I don't know why. So you asked me to be there on most Thursdays and play regular pickup games. I'm super excited to do that. Just somebody to spend that exact same amount of time playing in a league, and I just lose interest. It's just instantly.
You just Bugs Lifing it over here. It's like, I want to choose to do that. I want to upset the entire flow of our culture's history so that I can choose to go to my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Brah, chill. Like, you don't need to fucking upset the whole rule of law just so you can go back to work in the mines.
Yeah, Yeah. I don't know what it is. So,
like, think of it this way though. Like, hey, so you're telling me I'm going to have 11 players in a game, and all you've done is increase the number of generic linemen I'm taking. That I'm not excited about that. It's just not selling point for me.
But it hasn't dampened my interest in Old World at all. It's mostly just, oh, look, a new shiny. That's 100% where my head went. And so it's not that it's overwhelmed. And I'm not gonna lie, I pulled out my Lizardmen that you printed for me, my Blood Bowl Lizardmen, and the first thing I thought was, man, these are gonna be really fucking hard to put on Blood Bowl bases because they are big. And so I started.
A lot of them are standing on 1 foot though.
No, you're right. I was just thinking about like how to put them in front of other Blood Bowl minis on those little squares and stuff. And so I was staring at that problem for a little while. And then as I was looking at them and just looking at each fig, I was like, fuck, these models are so cool. It'd be so easy to put a little sword in their hand and just a shield on the other and just play Old World with these models. I would love that so much because these models are so cool.
I didn't tell you because you haven't spoken to me in 4 weeks. But I found some new models that you will probably really like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they lizard? Are they elf?
They're lizards.
I've decided that I can't play elves. I could play tree people, but you apparently have to play some elves to play tree people, and I politely refuse. And I'm not going to do rats. I'm not going to do. It would be lizards or like a complete left turn, like chaos or something. I know they just got like an extra little rules expansion. I haven't even seen what it does, but
I can't remember the name of this fucking company. Ah, there it is. Yeah. It sounds like the old world is still picking up a good amount of steam. As usual, I've been trying to get stuff painted, and every single time I sit down to paint, something explodes, and my entire day is gone, and then I don't get back to painting.
Aww.
So I put 0 paint on my models. It's literally I pulled out my airbrush, I got the paints, I put the paints on the table. I'm like, I'm gonna paint my dragon today, and then I get a message. I'm like, store's on fire. I'm like, great. It's like, then I leave the house. I'm like, oh yeah. I come back. I'm like, why is this on my table now? Anyway,
if I could riddle me this, think of. No, that's the problem. I was about to say think of like a B+ level paint job, but that would make me upset. Like, how quickly do you think I could do paint in to a level that you imagine I would appreciate on lizards? Would it be like
lizards are really easy to paint.
That's what I'm thinking, but I also know that you
remember when we painted Krakenoctus?
Yeah, I remember Krakenoctus. Yeah,
that's literally what you're doing.
Okay, that was not. I really loved my Krakenoctus when I was done, and was that one evening? I think it was one evening for a pretty big model.
And then you tried to sit down and paint Nick Fury, and you hated it.
Yeah, the fucking Nick Fury.
You know why? Because he's got leather straps.
Yeah,
no leather straps.
Yeah,
don't even try.
Yeah, it is true. That organic Krakenoctus, he got done really quick, and I did love him. So maybe that's as if you're telling me that's the kind of low rush shit I'm into. I think I could probably do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. This has been Brandon
and Parker,
and you just listened to 1985.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.